Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making pupusas. This is the second time I will have filmed this video. The first time I did a vertical. I'm starting over. Who knew YouTube videos were supposed to be horizontal? Because I sure did not. Before we start with our pupusas, I'm going to start with the side dishes that go with it. So normally pupusas, they come with a side of curtido and some salsa. We'll be making both of those things from scratch today. I'm going to start with my curtido. So for the curtido, we're going to start with our ingredients. You're going to need cabbage, oregano, jalapeño. This is a red onion specifically, white vinegar. My water is currently boiling on the stove. You're going to start with a strainer into a bowl. Decide how much you're going to want on your pupusa. Throw however much of that cabbage into a strainer. I'm going to pour boiling water directly over my green cabbage mixture. Make sure to get all of that cabbage. I just let it drain into this bowl underneath. You're gonna take some cold water and dump it right back on top of your cabbage. So all my cabbage is blanched. Is blanched the right word? I'm really unsure, but that's what we're gonna go with. I'm just gonna put it into this separate, smaller bowl. Cut up some of this jalapeno, and I'm gonna cut up some of my red onion as well. I am just cutting it, dicing it, I guess. Probably should have done slices and not dices, but that's fine. I'm just gonna put my jalapeno, add my little bit of onion. Just sprinkle a little bit of oregano on top. Just a pinch, a dash, a sprinkle. Put enough white vinegar in here to cover the top of my mixture. I'm gonna throw a lid on this. I'm gonna give it a little shake. I'm going to let this sit in the fridge. Now that we've made our curtido, we are going to make our salsa. So you're gonna need Roma tomatoes, part of a white onion, garlic, jalapeno, serrano chili, some cilantro. We're gonna start with the tomato. I'm just gonna cut my tomato into really large chunks. Throw all my tomatoes into my pot. I'm just gonna add about a clove of my garlic, or that was like 4. Then I'm gonna cut in part of my jalapeno. I did about half of a jalapeno. So I'm gonna throw my now cut serrano, almost missed. I'm gonna throw in a big chunk of white onion. Your cilantro, you're gonna put in at the very end. I'm going to take my pot, fill it with water just enough to cover my veggies, and then put it on the stove to boil. My salsa mixture has now been simmering for about 20 minutes. Put it all into the blender, including the leftover water. Add a little bit of cilantro. I'm going to blend this until it's completely smooth. Not completely smooth, but like mostly smooth, you know? So my salsa is now completely blended. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt. Just kidding, that was a lot of salt. I'm going to throw this into a pot with just a little bit of oil, and I'm going to season my salsa. My salsa has been simmering now on the stove for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to stick it into a container and then throw it in the freezer, actually. You can throw yours in the fridge, but I am gonna need mine fairly soon. To make the pupusa dough, you are going to need some masa corn flour, a little bit of salt, and some water. A cup of my masa flour, a little pinch of salt. You're going to start adding your water. I'll probably do around a cup of warm water. You're looking for like Play-Doh kind of consistency with this. I can touch it and it doesn't stick to my fingers. So for my pupusa filling, I am going to do refried black beans, a little bit of cheese. You're gonna need a spot that you can push them out flat. So I like to use plastic wrap. I just do a little square. You're gonna need a second piece for the top layer. So I'm just gonna make little equal-sized dough balls. And it's just kind of a little palm-sized ball. I have my 5th little dough ball done. I'm going to take my one, throw it in the middle of my plastic wraps, cover it with the other one. I'm going to take like a pot or a pan, push down on that pupusa till it's kind of flat. I'm going to put it all over on my hand, peel that plastic wrap off, and a little bit of that pupusa dough. All right, and now I'm going to fill it with a little bit of my refried black beans. Add as much beans and cheese as you think you can fit in here. Then I'm going to fold my pupusa in on itself. My pupusa is solid on the outside. If your dough isn't wet enough, it's going to show here because your pupusa is going to start cracking and your beans and cheese is going to start seeping out those cracks. You can take a little bit of water in your hand and try and mold the dough like that. Start flattening out my pupusa. I'm going to throw it in a pan with just a little bit of oil to just fry it on each side. My pupusa is all done and now we're going to plate it. I'm going to add a little bit of my salsa and a little bit of my curtido. I'm just going to dig in. So good. Alright everybody, that is it for my pupusas today. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, give it a like. If you have any ideas, something you would like me to make in the future, go ahead and comment that down below. I'll see you guys next time.